It is the 1st of October, and our reading this day in Baptist history is What Price Missions? Our verse comes from Luke chapter 14 and verse 33. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Many people today somehow think of foreign missions as being romantic and glamorous, but such is not the case. As fundamentalist Baptist missionary deputies faithfully travel in an effort to raise financial and prayer support, they often almost despair. Someone has facetiously said that, and I quote, deputation is an unknown period of time for calling, writing, and visiting an unknown number of pastors one does not know, driving on unfamiliar roads in unbelievable conditions at unearthly hours, staying with people you have never met, and eating food you do not recognize, in order to convince unfamiliar churches to support a missionary they do not know, to go to a field where he has not been, to do a work he has not done in a language he does not know, with funds he does not have. End of quote. Surely that statement contains much truth, but getting to the field is just the beginning. Once on the field, one meets opposition, a strange culture, a difficult language, a complicated climate, and oftentimes physical dangers that cannot be predicted. But the trials of our modern days cannot be compared with the dangers that surrounded missionaries in the middle of the 19th century. James Landrum Holmes was born in Preston County, West Virginia on May 16, 1836. The lad was raised in the Methodist faith and continued so until someone introduced him to a copy of Richard Fuller's Baptism and Communion. The youthful Holmes embraced Baptist doctrine from that time and enrolled in the Columbian College in Washington, D.C. Doubtless he heard much concerning missions in the school that Luther Rice had founded, and he applied under the Southern Baptist Foreign Mission Board to serve the Lord in China. He graduated from the college in June of 1858, and the following month married Miss Sally J. Little. Having been appointed by the mission, James and Sally sailed for China on August 21, 1858. The Southern Baptists had recently opened the labor in Shantung province, and James and Sally Holmes visited the area in May of 1859. The new work was known as the North China Mission. China had recently been at war with England and France. 18 months after the war, Mr. and Mrs. Holmes, along with another Baptist missionary couple, the J.B. Hartwells, were able to establish their residence in Chifu, a treaty port. Tragically, with the war against England and France ended, civil war began. In Chinese history, the war is known as the Taiping, T-A-I-P-I-N-G, rebellion. It was a popular uprising against the imperial government of the ruling Manchu dynasty, and it affected a large part of the nation. The rebellion lasted approximately from 1848 to 1865 and was led by Cantonese schoolmaster Hung Hsiu-Chuan. Groups of rebels and bands of bandits took advantage of the troublous period, and many wanton killings took place along with much plundering. On October 1st, 1861, as marauders approached Chifu, Mr. Holmes went out with another man to a rebel camp to intercede for the safety of their town. He never returned, and 8 days later his body was recovered. During those pioneering days of missions, many valiant soldiers of the cross lost their lives in the dangers of travel and as victims of disease. Mr. Holmes, however, must be remembered as a missionary martyr who died in a gallant effort to protect others. Mrs. Holmes was left a widow with a small son to rear, but moving to Tung Chau, she remained in China for 20 years in her dedication to serving the Savior. Missions is never easy, but life at best is short. Let us determine to do God's will here and now, that throughout eternity we might rejoice that we have fulfilled His will and can enjoy eternal rewards forever. To God be the glory.